Greetings from New York City. This is Chris Franco. Thank you for stopping by. I recently got into a heated debate with someone who said the best course of action for a long-term investor is just to buy Vanguard's Total World Stock Index Fund ETF.
What planet is this poor soul living on?
However you want to invest is up to you. I support everyone. I hope everyone does well. I'm only here to offer my perspective. I find for myself that nothing makes more sense for the long term than something like VOO, which is the Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF.
I think it's the same thing that makes most sense practically all of the time, and that is to consistently buy an S&P 500 low-cost index fund, keep buying it through thick and thin, and especially through thin.
When I said the VOO is a lot better than the VT, this person, well, I think blood started coming out of their ears.
Son of a...
To which I responded, let's have a debate. What happened next can only be described as a sunning, because I made them my son. Here's why. 5 reasons why I think the VOO is a better long-term pick. Right off the bat, costs. Costs are a killer. I'm into long-term compounding. CMQ stands for compound money quietly. It's kind of the whole point here. Compounding costs are something that investors typically don't think about, to our detriment.
The investor who's aware of that and cuts back on cost is greatly advantaged.
The management fees for VT are more than double the VOO. They charge 0.07% versus 0.03%. Doesn't seem like a big difference, right? But actually over a 50-year period, if you were starting with, let's say, 100 grand, just to make a round number, you'd lose out on over $200,000 gross, which is also gross.
100.
The other kind of cost that comes up, most people don't even think to look for, and that is the portfolio turnover ratio. According to the prospectus, I'm going to read this off my phone. I might be functionally illiterate, but you should listen to me for all your investing needs. 3 months ago, I was living under a bridge, playing the skin flute just to get a meal. Now I'm a billionaire. Because I bought the VOO. The fund pays transaction costs, such as commissions, when it buys and sells securities, or turns over, it puts it in quotes, it's like, turns over. I love how it's almost written like for a dumb. Turns over. A higher portfolio turnover rate may indicate higher transaction costs and may result in more taxes when fund shares are held in a taxable account. These costs reduce the fund's performance. During the most recent fiscal year, the fund's portfolio turnover rate was 6%. The higher the portfolio turnover rate, the more you pay.
100.
The VOO's portfolio turnover rate is 2%. 6%, 2%. I'll take 2% all day. Let's go on to the next factor here, which is risk. As the name implies, the VT gives you exposure to stocks all over the world, and 10.10% of the fund consists of companies in emerging markets. Now that brings with it different risks that you don't have to think about if you just buy the VOO. Country and regional risk. Country and regional risk is especially high in emerging markets. Emerging markets risk, which is the chance that the stocks of companies located in emerging markets will be substantially more volatile and substantially less liquid than the stocks of companies located in more developed foreign markets. Now, that might seem kind of obvious, right? But I don't think the people who are saying, no, VT's better, are they talking about this? 10% of the fund is in emerging markets. You're putting your life savings in that?
You cannot be serious!
Oh, and don't forget currency risk, which is the chance that the value of a foreign investment measured in US dollars will decrease due to unfavorable changes in currency exchange rates. Huh, that sounds nice. Currency risk is especially high in emerging markets. My last reason here is something that's kind of unique to me, but it keeps me out of trouble. I don't ever want to buy something that if there's even a chance that I'll have to look at myself in the mirror and go, you are such an idiot, and punch myself in the face, then I don't want to buy it. You had to get into the world stock market, Mr. World, Mr. Worldly. At the end of the day, though, this comes down to the most important reason, which is my overall investment strategy. My goal moving forward for the next 30 years is to achieve the same performance as the S&P 500 index in that same time frame. Over the last 30 years, the average US equity fund investor underperformed the S&P 500 by 3.6 percentage points, which is devastating when you look at what that does, destroying wealth over a 30-year period. If I want to do as well as the S&P 500, the best thing for me to buy is the VOO. The VOO guarantees that I do no better or no worse than the S&P 500, minus expenses. Is that the most rational approach? For my goals, it is, and I think for most people, it probably is.
Why have you advised your wife to invest in index funds after your death?
Somebody who is not an investment professional, what is the best investment, meaning one that there would be less worry of any kind connected with? I think actually what I'm suggesting is what a very high percentage of people should do, something like that. So I think it's a policy that'll get a good result and is likely to stick.
I recognize the logic of the fact that S&P algorithm is very hard to beat. In a diversified portfolio of big companies, it's all but impossible for most people.
think I'm in pretty good company, but even if that wasn't the case, my reasons, I know them, I understand them, and I can stand by them. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you were able to get something valuable from it. Make sure you give it a like, leave a comment if you have any thoughts, and I'll continue to deliver as much value as I possibly can for anyone who is subscribed and watching these videos. For CMQ Investing, my name is Chris Franco. We'll talk soon.